Welcome back to Virtual Reality. My name is Thomas and you're watching VoodooDE VR. Today I have a hardware review for you. This is the brand new HTC Vive Pro 2, and in this video I will show you my review. We will talk about the comfort, the weight, the display, the lenses, the field of view, performance, controller, and all the stuff that you need to know before buying this headset. So, this is gonna be very interesting. You can find everything about VR and AR on this channel thanks to my sponsors Woodoo's VR, Open Events, Peter Wasmeyer, Virtual Escape and Slim Beats. Let's have some fun with the video and let's go!
VoodooDE.
Okay, let's talk about the design. So if you already know the Vive Pro, you will know the Vive Pro 2 because it's exactly the same. Yeah, it's only the Vive Pro 1 is dark blue and the Vive Pro 2 is black. So this is the only difference. Everything is completely the same. It looks the same. The two cameras, the complete head strap is the same. But that's not bad. It's good because the Vive Pro was a good headset. And so why should they change that? So yes, the only thing where you can see some fingerprints here is the cameras and this little blue piece here. Well, that's I think fine. We have the two headphones here that we can move in all directions, up and down, left and right. We can put them to the side. Microphone button on the other side as well. Here's volume up and down. The cable comes from the back and goes here in a circle. So if you accidentally rip it off, then it has a little resistance here, and that's really good. Then here we have the here's the IPD adjustment. Here is the button for the distance between the lenses and your eyes. That's for people wearing glasses under the Vive Pro. We will try that as well. And yeah, we have a removable face cover as always, so we can exchange that. We have some rubber material here for your nose. And then look at the lenses. So they are definitely bigger than with the Vive and Vive Pro 1. And this is going to be interesting. I hope so. So the material quality all in all is really good. This is one of the best qualities that I've seen on the VR headset. And the design, yeah, we can, everybody feels different. I like the design of the Vive Pro 2. So yeah, of course it feels very big and very huge, but we will talk about the weight and stuff, of course, now. Okay guys, and now let's talk about the comfort. It's very, very important. And as I said, it's the same head strap than with the original Vive Pro. And when I put it on my head now, like this here, put that down, then use the screw here and then the head strap here, and then push the headphones to your ears. And I can tell you this is very, very comfortable. And I expected that because the Vive Pro was also comfortable. It's really good and it's comfortable. The weight is spread over your head and it doesn't feel heavy in your face, like for example with the Oculus Quest or something like that. And that's awesome. That's really, really awesome. And only thing that I noticed is through this small slots here, there comes a little bit light inside. But during gameplay, it's normally it's not disturbing. But of course, you can just exchange the cover here or just put something here. It's not a big thing. It's not a big deal. It's fine. And of course, when you put it on your head, then use the small button to reduce the size from your eye, the distance between your eyes and lenses to enlarge the field of view. So the cable length. We have a small box at the end of the cable that we need to connect. So this cable here is a special cable. It goes in the connector box and then this is connected to your PC. And the distance from this point here at the end of the headset to the adapter cable is 4.6 meters. The whole cable, including this part here, is 5 meters, and I think that's pretty fine. 6 meters would be better, but I think like 4.6 meters is definitely enough to play in most areas. That's not a big thing. It's fine. The weight of the headset, you see it's very, very big. So I expected that it's heavy, and it is. It's 850 gram. And of course, this is more than some other headsets, but this is not bad. It's spread it over your whole head. And I don't feel like it's 850 grams. It just feels like 300 or something like that, because the spread of the weight is so good with this headset. So all in all, we can say the comfort, cable length and weight is really good with the HTC Vive Pro 2. So let's talk about the controllers. So normally the original controllers for the Vive Pro 2 are the Vive ones. So this is the version 1. You can buy the version 2 as well, but this is not a difference, only the color and Lighthouse 2. So I call them bones because they are really old and they are really heavy and bulky, and they only have a touchpad here and 2 buttons, the grip button and the trigger button. I mean, the tracking of these controllers is very good. Yeah, it's very good, but for me, they are old school. I don't like to play with a touchpad. Some people like that. They prefer a touchpad over a thumbstick. Then you should buy these, of course. They have very good, perfect tracking with the Lighthouse system. But I would prefer to buy the Valve Index controllers. You can buy them separately. I think they are $279 for 2. And they are much better in my opinion. You can put them on your hands and tighten it, and then you can even throw stuff away. It has finger tracking here. It has 2 buttons, a thumbstick, a touchpad, a menu button, and you can even set it up for your hands. It's just much better. I mean, the tracking of these both is perfect with both of them, but I would definitely prefer the Index controller. They are much newer technology, and yeah, I would prefer that. So all in all, the Vive Pro 2 has the perfect tracking. It's the Lighthouse system with the 2 base stations, and you can even use stuff behind your back. Yeah, so if you want to climb or something like that, and the other hand is behind your back, the tracking still works because you have the 2 base stations. Yeah, this will never be possible with the Windows Mixed Reality headset like the Reverb G2 or the Oculus Quest 2. Tracking behind the back for more than 1 second doesn't work with Quest 2 or Reverb G2. With this, you always have perfect tracking with the 2 controllers or with the headset. Yeah, the tracking is perfect, really. If you want perfect tracking, go for the Vive Pro 2 or any other Lighthouse system. Let's talk about game compatibility. So, as this is a PC VR headset, that means in first line it's compatible with SteamVR and Viveport. So Viveport is the HTC platform. You can do a subscription there and pay a monthly fee, and then you can play all the VR games that they have there. Or you can just use SteamVR and play all the thousands of VR games on SteamVR with this headset. It's possible, it's compatible. You can also play Oculus exclusive games with the Oculus software on PC. For example, Asgard's Wrath is Oculus exclusive, but you will need the tool Revive. Revive also works with the HTC Vive Pro 2, so this is not a problem. So all in all, you can play all PC VR games with the HTC Vive Pro 2. Only thing that doesn't work is PlayStation VR games and Oculus Quest standalone games. Everything else you can play with this headset, and that's a good thing. Let's talk about the accessories that you can use with the HTC Vive Pro 2. So as this is, as I already said, a lighthouse system, you can use all the equipment for lighthouse. For example, the Vive tracker. So you can put like 7 Vive trackers on your knees, on your feet, on your arms, on your hip, and then you have full body tracking in different virtual reality games. If you are interested in that, I made a video about this. Check out the info cards now, you can see that. And this also works with the HTC Vive Pro 2. And that's awesome. Also, if you have something very new like the Tundra tracker, they also work with the Vive Pro 2, or all equipment where you can mount the trackers on. For example, the Hyper Blaster here. So just mount it here and you can shoot with this on the HTC Vive Pro 2. So the compatibility of accessories is really huge. You can use all the stuff like, for example, the Striker VR gun or stuff. So this is a really good advantage with the Vive Pro 2. Let's talk about heat development of this device. So perhaps you would wonder, this has a very huge resolution and you think, oh yes, this is getting so hot and I cannot play with this. This is not true. So I had the chance to play a long time under the headset, and I noticed it gets warm, but not warmer than with other headsets, like for example the Reverb G2 or the Quest 2 or so. I would even say it's colder than the Valve Index. I had some problems with heat of the Valve Index, but with the Vive Pro 2 I didn't have any problems. It gets a little bit warm, but this is the case with all VR headsets, so heat development is not a problem with this headset. Let's talk about the removable parts of this headset. So if you want to clean it here, you can remove nearly all the foam stuff like this. You can remove this here. You can remove this part here at the back of your head. You can even remove the parts at the side here for the side of your head. And behind this foam, you see the screws here, and they are to remove the headphones. So you can remove both headphones if you want to use your own, and then you can remove it. And of course, you can remove the whole face cover here. This is very interesting, and it's even very easy to mount because it has this little nipple here. And then you can just put it like here and then make it better. It's much easier than, for example, with the Pimax headset, where you have to put that in different ways and it still doesn't work. So you can remove all the stuff, and you can also remove this part here, this plastic part, and behind that there are different connectors. I will show it to you later. So yeah, that's it, what you can remove. Let's talk about IPD settings. So we have this small wheel here at the right side of the Vive Pro 2. And as you can see, when I spin this wheel, then the lenses are moving here. And we have an IPD range of 57 to 70.5 millimeters. And I think this covers most people. I wish that the upper range would be 72 or something like that, because I know many people that have 72, but unfortunately its maximum is 70.5. So however, if you have 72 and you choose the highest range, it's still possible. Yeah, so I think it's fine, and especially that it has a stepless IPD range slider here. That's really good, and I cannot complain about this. It's okay here. So what are these two cameras for? So when you remember, the Vive Pro 1 also had these two cameras and nobody uses that. And this is the same with the Vive Pro 2. So there are some small interesting beta apps where you can use some very simple hand tracking, but not even that. Just that you can see some toys or balls jumping on your real sofa or whatever, but this is just nothing. It's just not useful. The only thing that you can use it for, the cameras, is the pass-through mode. So when you want to drink something without removing your headset, then you can just activate the pass-through, and then you see your real environment. And this is what you can use it for. But for me, I don't need that. In my opinion, they could remove it and save some weight. But yeah, whatever. These are the two cameras. So let's do my glasses test. I prepared some really big glasses here. Look at this. And what you're gonna do is push the button here to maximize the distance between the lenses and your eyes before you use that. Then put that up, wear your glasses, go slowly inside this headset, then put this down, use the screw until it's tight, and then push the button here again and slowly push the headset, the front, in the direction of your glasses, but make sure the lenses do not touch the glasses. And now I can tell you this is perfect. I don't even feel that I have glasses on my head, and it's just so good. But this was the case with all the VR headsets from HTC. The first Vive, the Vive Pro, now the Vive Pro 2. They really care about people that wear glasses. And if you want to remove it, just push the button again here, loosen the screw, put that up, and here we are. And that's just absolutely cool. So for people wearing glasses, this is absolutely no problem. You don't even have to wear contact lenses or put some adapters there. It's just, you don't need that. Just wear your glasses under the headset. Let's talk about the connections to the Vive Pro 2. So if you remove this little plastic piece from here, then under this piece there is a USB-C connector here. There you can use anything that you can connect via USB-C. So you cannot connect your, if you have old headphones with a audio jack 3.5 millimeters, the Vive Pro 2 has no 3.5 audio jack. So you have to use the USB-C connector. The USB-C connector, you can use anything like the facial tracking module. You can buy that for the Vive Pro 2, or the wireless module. You can also use the USB-C for that. And then there's no other connections besides Bluetooth, of course. So if you have Bluetooth headset and you have no dongle on your PC, you can use the integrated Bluetooth to connect it, and that's it. So USB-C and Bluetooth. So I will show you the Breakout box. This is the box here, and this cable goes to the Vive Pro 2. This is one cable, and on the other side we have three cables that are 1 meter. The first one is the power adapter. You can see it here. You can put that in your power plug, and then we have the DisplayPort cable. This is DisplayPort 1.4. It's compatible to 1.2, of course. And then we have USB here. This is the USB cable. So these three things you have to connect, and then you have a button here, and then you can switch it on or off. This is the Breakout box. You definitely need it, but of course it comes with the Vive Pro 2. Let's talk about mobility. Of course, as you expect, this is not a mobile headset. So you need the two base stations mounted on the walls or on a tripod, two in a room, diagonal, and then you can use that. And the problem is the base stations have to stay there. You shouldn't move them, then you have to recalibrate or stuff. So, and then you have the three cables and the Breakout box that you need to connect your PC. And that means the headset, the Vive Pro 2, is not really mobile. You cannot just pack everything in 1 minute and put it there at your friend and then just play there. It doesn't work so fast. So for the Reverb G2 or the Quest 2, it works in seconds, but for the Vive Pro 2, it just doesn't. So only buy that if you just play on one place at home, and then it's good. Let's talk about cleaning of the headset. So as I already told you, you can remove all the foam like this here and on the side and the face cover, and you can wash it out and then dry it and then reassemble it. So this is really good. You can wash all the stuff. You can remove this part here, and here the problem is we have a lot of holes here, a lot of small plastic pieces, and I can already tell you, although I don't have the Vive Pro 2 for a long time, I can tell you in 2 or 3 months, but I'm pretty sure that all the dirt and sweat will go into these holes here, and it's gonna be very hard to remove that. Perhaps with some ear pads you can remove all this stuff, but mostly I would say this is hard to remove. But all the parts that touches your head or your face can be removed and washed. Let's talk about sound and microphone. So people that know me, I'm not the biggest enthusiast of sound. I don't really care about that. The Quest 2 slots are enough for me. However, I tried some games with this headset, and I played some shooters to hear the sound. So if you put that on your head, it really sits good on your ears. It covers your ears, and you don't notice anything from your surrounding anymore. So you are totally in virtual reality. When you see the Valve Index, it's flying over your ears, so you have some space between the... And for me, this is much better. I want to hear my surroundings, but even then, when we consider that, I think the sound of the Valve Index headset is better than this. It's not bad, it's not a disaster, but it doesn't feel so good. So the bass and stuff, it's not so powerful than I expected when I saw this headset. However, you can remove the 2 screws, and then you can use your own headset if you prefer to have a better sound. It's, as I said, not so bad, but I expected something better. Let's now talk about the integrated microphone here. Before we talk about this, let's hear a test sample. Welcome back to virtual reality. This is a microphone test with the HTC Vive Pro 2. Let's scream a little bit here. And let's do some popping sounds. Pop, 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 pop. Poo, 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 poo. Tests 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, and I think now you can see my reaction on that. So it sucks. It just sucks. They didn't improve anything. It was with the first Vive, with the Vive Pro 1, with the Vive Cosmos. The microphones suck. And I don't know why it's just a small thing. It's an expensive headset. Why don't they change the microphone? I don't understand that. So for me as a streamer, this is a no-go. Only if everything else was fine, I cannot use that for recording because the microphone sucks. So I had to, when I want to record with that, I have to assemble another microphone here or get a wireless microphone that I have to charge every time. It just sucks. So I will continue to play with the Valve Index and the Pimax 8KX because both have a much better microphone. I don't know. So for the sound and the microphone, I'm totally disappointed. Okay guys, let's talk about this setup. So the first thing you need to do is download vivesetup.x and then run this setup, and then you will have to log into your Viveport account. Then there are some messages about how to mount the base stations, 2 base stations. And somebody asked me the question, does it work without base stations? No, the setup waits for the 2 base stations, otherwise you cannot do this. In the next step, you will be asked to connect USB DisplayPort and the power cable, and then push the button on the connector box, and then it's switched on. It will install thousands of drivers and then you will be able to connect your controllers, the Vive ones or the Index controllers, and after that you can do the room setup. So the bad thing about this, you need 2 software products. So the Viveport, including the Viveport console, and of course SteamVR. So the 2 things have to run here. Okay guys, and now let's talk about the very important things, display and lenses. So as you perhaps know, HTC was talking about 2440 by 2440 per eye, and this is a very high resolution. It's even higher than the Reverb G2, and only the Pimax 8KX has a higher resolution, but the 8KX has a very huge field of view, so this, you cannot really compare this. So, and also HTC Vive was talking about 120 degrees field of view. I will talk about this later. So let's check out the different things that I filmed this through the lens. Everything what you see here is through the lens. And let's start with the glare test. So sorry for the unfocused pictures here at the surroundings, but this I will talk about this in the sweet spot, yeah. So the glare test was really good. There are no really God rays. It's much better than with the Valve Index, for example. And I cannot complain about this. I can play with it without problems. And also the black levels, they are for an LC display really good. So I could definitely imagine to play horror games with that. So this is for God rays and black levels. I cannot complain about this. The next thing is how can you read the text? So this is pretty small text here, and as you can see in the middle, you can really read that good. So this is not a problem. But look at the surroundings here. This is so, it's not sharp, not even close to sharp. I mean, with my eyes, it's a little bit better than what I filmed through the lens. But the sweet spot of this lenses is, sorry to say that, but it's the worst thing I've seen ever. And I have no idea what they did with that. So, I don't know. It's just, you can see everything, but in the outer parts of the display, everything gets very unsharp. It's just as there is no focus on that, and it's so strange. So if you start looking like here, if you move your head like this, then everything gets sharp and you can read it very, very good. But for everything at the outside, it just doesn't look good. And I even had the feeling that there on the edge of the screen, there is even a little bit of distortion. Not as bad as with the Pimax headsets, but at least a little bit. And that's crazy. That's crazy because the Pimax headset have a much bigger field of view. So and there is one thing else that I really find very strange. So when I played some games like Half-Life Alyx, or even in the test tool, in the headset test tool, I cannot show it through the lens. It's just not possible. But when I have this field of view, for example, yeah, like this, and in this part of the picture, it looks like I'm looking through a water bubble. When I move my head left and right, it feels like it spins a little bit. It's so crazy. It's just so unreal, and I have no idea how to describe it. But I really don't like these lenses. Yeah, really not. Holy shit! Sorry to tell you this, guys, but that's from. I mean, it's very individual. It depends on the head shape, on the holes here in for my eyes and all the stuff. And for example, with the Reverb G2, some people had problems with the sweet spot, but I didn't. For example, some people will not have any problems with the Vive Pro 2. I don't know. But for me, it's the worst thing I've ever seen what sweet spot and lenses belong. Bad. The colors are pretty good. Sorry for the picture here. It's so unsharp, but I cannot change that. It's even very hard to get a clear picture through the lens, but the colors are good. I cannot complain about the colors. That was pretty cool. So that's a good thing. And the next thing here is, here you can see it as well. Look here, everything is not sharp. And here in the middle of the view, that's you can read it very good. Even when you look a little bit down here with the headset, then so I focused my camera in this area. So if you look down, then you can read this part very, very clear. So the high resolution of the display is really good. But Yeah, as I said, the sweet spot really, really sucks here. And now, guys, let's talk about the ultimative thing. No, wait, not yet, not yet. This is one last picture about, this is zoomed with my digital camera on highest level with a really huge objective. It's zoomed totally in, and as you can see, there are no pixels. So it's really good. You don't see any pixels on this headset. So now, oh my God, guys. We have to talk about this. So HTC wrote 120 degrees field of view without saying horizontal, vertical or diagonal. And normally when VR companies are talking about something like this, they mean diagonal, okay, like this. And then some people said that HTC confirmed that this is 120 degree horizontal, and that would be even like 140 diagonal or whatever. And perhaps you followed my channel, and I didn't believe that. Even HTC wrote me that that they can confirm it is 120 degrees horizontal. They confirmed it. I have it. And I still didn't believe it then, even when they confirmed it. And I was right. I was fucking right. Sorry, guys. So this is the results of my field of view test for the HTC Vive Pro. And it's crazy. So what did I feel when I first tried the Vive Pro 2 on my head? So I put that on my head, and then I thought I was Kylo Ren. Do you know Star Wars? This Kylo Ren guy that has a helmet with this small slot here. Yeah, it's not like a round hole; it's a slot. And this is what I felt when I used the Vive Pro 2. It's so crazy. So the vertical field of view is so small. It looks like you're watching through a small slot here, and I've never seen this before. I've seen that with the X-Tal headset, but with the Vive Pro 2, I didn't really expect that. So I compared. The problem is this is also very individual. The results here are depending on the shape of your head, on the eye distance, and all the stuff. But I compared that with my own head with the other headsets here, Quest 2, Index, Reverb G2. And as you can see, the vertical field of view is even the smallest of all these headsets. It's so crazy. It's so crazy. I mean, I complained about the Reverb G2 with the field of view, and the Vive Pro 2 is even smaller with the vertical field of view. How didn't they even try that? What the heck is going on there? So as you can see, the Valve Index is much bigger with vertical and also much bigger with horizontal field of view. So 120 degrees horizontal is not correct. It's just a lie. And that sucks. It really sucks. I mean, you can remove the face cover, but then you cannot use the headset. I don't know. I'm so frustrated. I really hoped it's bigger than the Valve Index, but it's definitely much smaller than the Valve Index. And this is bad. Sorry guys that I have to tell you this, but the lenses and the sweet spot is very bad with this headset. And the field of view as well. Sorry to tell you this. Okay guys, let's talk about the performance. You've seen the 3 scenes of the games. So for the FPS VR tool that you've seen here, it's a little bit strange that it says reprojection 100%, especially by Half-Life Alyx. I don't think so. This is perhaps a bug or whatever. So I have a high-end PC with RTX 3090 and 10900K CPU, and it runs absolutely perfect. All the 3 games without any problems, and even Project Cast 2, although it says 45 frames per second, but I think this is something like a motion compensation is activated, but I deactivated it in the Vive console, and also in SteamVR it says not compatible, but I think it was activated somehow here. However, I put all the 3 games on maximum quality and it runs really, really good. I cannot complain. So HTC talks about minimum processor Core i5 4590 or Ryzen 1500 and graphics card GTX 1060 or Radeon RX 480. But I do not recommend to play it with this. So I would recommend minimum 9900K CPU with an RTX 2070 or even higher, because you don't want to buy a expensive headset with a high resolution and then play on low graphics. That doesn't make sense. Also, if you want to use the Vive Pro 2 in high resolution, in the highest resolution possible, then you need DisplayPort 1.4. It's also compatible with 1.2, but for the maximum resolution, go for 1.4. So guys, I think for the performance, it depends on your PC, of course. Not really on the headset. It depends on the resolution you choose and stuff. But there's no bug or no problem with that. So I can not tell anything negative about the performance. Okay guys, so let's come to a conclusion. So to answer this in one sentence, I'm really disappointed. Yeah, I'm really disappointed. I expected a lot more. So no, I will not use this as my future headset, definitely not. Let's go through the pro and contras. For the pros, I put in comfort, because the Vive Pro 2 is very comfortable. The weight is spread over your head, that's really cool. I also put the display there under pro arguments, because the display itself is good. It's really a sharp display. When you look in the middle of the view, you can read everything. You don't see any pixels. The colors are good. The black levels are good. So I cannot complain about the display. Yeah, that's it. So, and the next pro thing is the tracking. We have lighthouse tracking, so the tracking is the best thing that you can have. So if you prefer precise tracking with multiplayer shooters or whatever, then it's a good thing. The IPD slider is very good. It has a good range. It's a stepless IPD slider. And then the accessories that you can buy for the Vive Pro 2 are really cool. You can use the Vive trackers for full body tracking. You can buy a facial tracker. I think it's €139. And you can buy a Wi-Fi module. You can use the Vive Pro 2 completely wireless for €399. And this is a huge advantage. Not many other PC headsets are able to be wireless. Yeah. But now the contra arguments, and they are really heavy. So the lenses, I really hate these lenses. I don't know why, but in the middle of the view there is something like a water bubble that moves up and down. When you move your head left and right, it feels like it's I don't know, it's just crazy. Also the sweet spot is very bad. I don't see anything sharp in the outside of the view, and that totally sucks. I don't like the lenses. For the God rays they are good, but the rest not. And the worst thing is the field of view. This kills it for me. I mean, how the heck did I even try that? This Kylo Ren view with the small slot, I never seen such a small vertical view. all the headsets that I have, even the Reverb G2 has a bigger vertical field of view, and all in all, even the G2 feels bigger a little bit. I mean, the horizontal view of the Vive Pro 2 is okay, it's okay, but this squished view, this squished vertical view with this Kylo Ren helmet mode, this is so bad. Why should they even do that? I don't like that, and for me this is absolute no-go. So this is of course a contra-argument. Also, the sound is not what I expected. It's not perfect, and the microphone is absolutely bad. It's the worst thing I've seen in the VR headset. And also I listed under contra-arguments the software, because it's really very... It always wants to be in the middle of the view, the Vive port. So if you start your PC, everything, it's started automatically, then SteamVR starts and all the stuff. So you have to set it up manually so it doesn't start. And also I had it in 40% of cases when I closed SteamVR, my complete PC froze. I have to push the reset button of my PC. I mean, that I think they will fix that soon, but for now I have this problem and this really sucks. Yeah. So guys, for the price, the headset itself is 799 euro, and this is a lot, to be honest. If you want to have the full kit with the 2 controllers and 2 base stations, then you will pay 1,400 euro, and this is a lot. It's a lot. So I don't know, perhaps for people that want wireless, then this is a good thing, because you have a high resolution and comfort, and also wireless. No any other PC VR headset has wireless, so this is a huge advantage, of course. Yeah, guys, so when you compare it with the Valve Index, it's 1,079 euro. It's cheaper in the whole kit, even with the Index controllers. I would definitely prefer the Valve Index over the Vive Pro 2. Of course, the Index has much less resolution. You see the pixels a little bit more, but this is the only thing. The field of view is bigger, the comfort is the same, the IPD is the same, the tracking is the same. Everything else, the lenses are much better, the better sweet spot, the field of view, yes, the sound is better, the microphone is better, the software is better because there is no software. You can just use SteamVR. I would definitely prefer the Valve Index. So yeah, and I think for simulations, I would prefer the Reverb G2, I think, over the Vive Pro 2. It's much cheaper, and the sweet spot is much better, the lenses are better. So guys, all in all, I'm really disappointed. However, if you want to buy the headset, you can find the link in the description below. So you can find brutal and honest reviews on my channel, as you've seen. So make sure to subscribe and hit the bell. In the future, there will be other honest and brutal reviews, perhaps about the DK Gear 1. I'm looking forward to that. So yeah, we will see that. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time in virtual reality. See ya.
VoodooDE